As the Fed remains on pause, does the central bank find the onus on fiscal policy to extend this economic recovery and fend off a slowdown? As in, is the Fed positioning itself to take on a reactionary role to whatever fiscal policy is doing? I'm asking because we're seeing the waning effect of tax reform and no material news on infrastructure. So just wondering kind of how you feel the monetary policy, fiscal policy balance is in swing right now.
So we take fiscal policy as as exogenous to what we do. In other words, we're whatever happens with fiscal policy, we take that. We don't evaluate it. We don't criticize it, and we don't overreact to it either. So I think it's just a fact. It's just an external fact about the economy for us. I mean, our policy is the reason we're on hold is that we think our policy rate's in a good place, and we think the economy's in a good place, and we're watching carefully as we see these events evolve around the world and at home, and we think that's what we need to be doing.
Steve Beckner, freelance journalist reporting for NPR, Mr. Chairman. The Fed has been allowing the average maturity of securities in its bond portfolio to lengthen. Is this consciously aimed at flattening the yield curve? And is that going to be part of the Fed's longer run balance sheet strategy? And if flattening the yield curve is a conscious long-term strategy, are you concerned about the side effect of heightening concerns about a flatter or inverted yield curve being a harbinger of recession?
The basic answer to your question is no. We are the decision about the maturity composition of the Fed's balance sheet in the longer run lies ahead of us. We have not made that decision, and we really haven't begun to have the serious series of discussions over a series of meetings to grapple with that. That I think will be something we turn to reasonably soon, but I think it will take some time. It's a consequential decision and one that needs some thought. We've had a lot of balance sheet discussions, as I mentioned, over the last 4 meetings, but this is the next big one, the big decision that we'll face. And I think we're not going to be in a rush to resolve it, but we'll turn to it soon.
Can I just follow, please? Well, how do you account for the fact that the average maturity has in fact been lengthening and contributing to a flattening of the yield curve? Is that what's causing that?
I think isn't it just that as securities roll off, you wind up investing in as a 10-year rolls off, you wind up investing in a 10-year, and automatically that lengthens things. It's not at all a plan to lengthen the balance sheet. It's just been, we've tried to have a practice that we don't deviate from, and it's transparent.